Hi everyone, just wanted to jump on here and do a really quick introduction. My name's Lisa and I successfully represented myself as a litigant in person through an employment tribunal against my former employer last year. And since then I've been lucky enough to come into contact with some amazing people who were going through the process themselves, and they've always been really kind, and given me really lovely feedback on any of the help that I've given them. And they've said, oh, why don't you set up a page, or why don't you write a book? And I did a recent webinar with Valley UK and received such lovely encouraging feedback from that I thought, you know what, maybe something I learn or maybe something I could share might help somebody else that's going through the same journey as I did. So this is my channel. This is my employment tribunal journey. I'm going to be, over the next coming weeks, taking you right from the beginning, when I very first popped my toe on the very first path on this horrendous journey, right through to not only just the successful judgment at the end, but also, employment tribunal afterlife, because believe it or not, that's a thing, and I'm living it right now. So I am going to be saying at the beginning of every one of these videos, so I apologise because you're going to get really sick of hearing me say it, but I have no legal training. I have absolutely no legal experience. I'm not qualified whatsoever in employment law. So all of the information I'm going to be sharing, all of the opinions or anything like that on my channel are purely my own, purely based on my own experience, purely based on the things I learn and the things that got me through the journey. So I would also say to anybody that, there's loads of resources out there, and always make sure that you check your facts before you go forward with them. So the second thing that I was thinking about was that, obviously, if you are in the unfortunate position of going through an employment tribunal, the only people who can really empathise with where you're at are those people like myself who have unfortunately been, through the same thing themselves. And I was thinking, what can I call our gang? And I was pondering on it, and it suddenly came to me. And I thought, you know what? If you are brave enough to stand up and challenge your former employer, if you're brave enough and courageous enough and determined enough to get justice for the horrendous way that you've been treated, then in my eyes, you are the elite. You are a complete A-lister. You're right there, up at the top, putting yourself forward into that playground to join in that game, and you're just going to hit the ground running. So you know what? We are the A-team. And the more I thought about that, for those who, like me, are old enough to know what the A-team is and who they were, I thought, you know what? That sums up my journey, like, really well. Because you have so many personalities and you have so many kind of fronts when you're going through this process. And I thought, you know what? Most days, especially in the beginning, I was mad Murdoch. I mean, I had a million and one thoughts going through my mind 24/7. I remember saying, like, I could physically feel like at the back of my brain constantly turning, and I couldn't hold on to any one of these thoughts for long enough to figure it out. And that thought, along with all its other mates, were just having a real good time, and it was just spinning so fast. I just felt that I just couldn't get a hold on anything. And then other days I was kind of the face of it all, and I was really kind of feeling like I had a bit of a handle on it. I was feeling like I was getting somewhere. I had moments where I felt quite positive, and I was putting these documents together that I never in a million years dreamed I'd ever have to do. And I was quoting employment law, and I was and I was really, really going for it, and I was really making it look like, you know what, I totally got this. But then the following day, I would not be getting on no plane because I would have days where I just could not face another second of this process. I couldn't read another case law. I couldn't even get the folders out, like the binders out, because I just couldn't bear to look at them. And I think I had a lot of days like that. But then also dotted along the journey, and obviously at the end as well, I just loved it when a plan came together, and I just kept plugging away and plugging away, and eventually, I would have moments where I'd think, yeah, this is coming together. This, I don't know how. I haven't got a clue how we got here, but it's actually starting to look something like professional. We're actually starting to look like we're getting somewhere. So really, throughout the coming weeks, what I really want to share is, the highs, there were a few, the lows, there were a lot, and everything else in between, because we can't underestimate the impact of this process, not only on, on a mental level, but also on an emotional level, on a physical level, just on every level imaginable, really. It literally takes over your life, and it is really hard, and it is really lonely. But what I also want to try and do in some of these videos, if I can, is not make light of it, because it's a very heavy subject to make light. But I think if I can just kind of put a little bit of positivity in there, so that if you are having those days where you just sat crying on the kitchen floor, and and I've been there, if you can just think, you know what, I'm just gonna pop that video back on, actually get an audio, pop your earphones on, and you think, I'm just gonna kind of listen to just one of those short videos, because it just might give me what I need to carry on today. If I can do that for somebody, then that will make this whole process worth it. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I've taken advice from my 7-year-old daughter, and apparently you need to subscribe somewhere down there and give us a little thumbs up if you would be kind enough. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, even if you've come across it by chance and you're lucky enough not to be going through this process, or you've never been through this process, you could maybe, if you would, give it a share, because there could be somebody else out there following you that could really find it helpful. And there are very little resources and very little support, particularly for those litigants in person, that even me kind of banging on about it every now and again will probably just be hopefully of some use to somebody. So if you give us a little like and a share. TikTok, not really quite sure what's going on with that. I'm on TikTok. By all means, give me a follow or whatever you do on there. And you can also Twitter me, because I'm on Twitter as well. And I'm going to put the links for all of my social media pages down there somewhere in the comments. If this video pans out and I'm pointing to the right place, this is going to be absolutely, quite frankly, amazing. So again, thanks for tuning in. My very first video, which is going to be hopefully in the next few days, is really going to take us right back to where I started, a little bit of background about me, the job that I did, the situation I was in, what happened to me on that very first call, and really what my motivation was for starting this process. So thanks again for watching. Hope to see you again. And that's me for today, team. Check it out.